Hey, Jorge here from Arizona. Today we're gonna be brewing a brown porter. And yes, I am a little bit chilly. It's only 43 degrees, but I've been in Arizona for 6 years, so 43 degrees is cold for me, whatever. Anyways, our grain bill today, I actually separate my grain bill a little bit. So check this out. I have 2 bags. In the main bag, I have 8 pounds of Mare's Otter. I have 0.63 pounds of Crystal 30 Lovey Bond. I actually couldn't find Crystal 30. I don't even know if any homebrew supply store sells that anymore. So I actually ended up mixing half and half, 20 and 40 Lovey Bond to kind of get that middle ground. And then I did 0.13 pounds of Victory Malt. Now, small bag, I have half a pound of chocolate malt and 0.75 pounds of brown malt. And the only reason why I separate these is because it's just going to make it easier for water adjustments for my side, since I'm brewing with reverse osmosis water. But if you have carbonated water, then you don't have to separate. You can just throw all the grains in the mash. I don't have carbonated water, so that just makes it easier for me to do water adjustments. That's the only reason why I'm separating the grains. Hops. Using Kent Golding hops, 2 ounces of these. And for my yeast, I'm going to be using London Ale yeast. Now, normally I would do a 1 liter starter with this beer, but I mentioned this a few videos back. I'm still doing some research with yeast pitching rates and all of that, so I'm pitching straight from the vial just to take some notes and kind of get a good understanding of what's going on whenever you pitch from a vial as opposed to a yeast starter. So normally I will do a yeast starter, but you can do from a vial. Some of the changes I expect from doing that is I'll probably just get a more estery beer, but other than that, it should all be all right. So anyways, I got my salt additions here, 1 gram of gypsum and 2 of calcium chloride, so it's about 1/4 teaspoon and just over half of a teaspoon of calcium chloride. Strike water is going to be at 171, so with that, let's go ahead and get started. All right. So we're going to start out by adding all of our light colored grains, including our crystal grains and our salt additions. We're going to mix that up. Now, once you do that, basically you're going to add your strike water. My strike water temperature was 171 degrees, and I like to actually monitor the temperature as I start adding all of my strike water, just to make sure that I don't go over. And again, the temperature for the mash is going to be 152. Once you reach that, you're going to let that sitting for about 16 minutes. And at this point, I went ahead and added the rest of the grains, the chocolate and the brown malt. And I did this right when I was doing my mash out. So I added the grains, mixed them up a bit, and added water to bring the temperature up to a mash out temperature. And at that point, I went ahead and I just let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. And then I recirculated to start lautering. So I recirculate, and I like to basically do it until I get clear wort out. So I'll do it for a little bit, and then I basically bump the wort against the wall of the fermenter or the mash tun to make sure that I'm getting clear wort. Once I get clear wort, I start to collect all of my wort, and I did a batch sparge. So I collected about just under 3 gallons at first, and then I repeated the process, added water to my mash tun, and I recirculated, and then I started to collect the rest of my wort, and I collected a total of about 6 gallons and 3/4 of a gallon, so 6.75 gallons. I started to bring this to a boil. I like to bring it to a boil as I'm collecting wort. That way I kind of speed up the process a bit. And the boil, very simple. I went ahead and boiled until I had 30 minutes left in the boil. I added my first set of hops, left that sitting for about 15 minutes, kind of stirred up, make sure that the hops are in contact with the wort, and then 15 minutes left in the boil, I added the second set of hops, both Kent Goldings. They're both 1 ounce hop additions. And then after the last 15 minutes, I went ahead and started cooling down my wort to yeast pitching temperature. I cooled the wort down to 68 degrees, which is where I'm going to be fermenting this beer. So again, I pitched the yeast out of straight from a vial. Normally I would do it from a starter, but I did it from a vial and just left it fermenting at 68 degrees. I'll come back and let you know how this turns out. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on this video.